On today's episode of WatchJRGo, we are back with my $4,000 Escalade. And in today's video, well, hopefully we've got an engine back in this thing. What is going on, guys? I am WatchJRGo, and today, like I said, back with my 2011 Escalade. I paid just $4,000 for it, and we've done quite a bit of work to it since. And now we have the old engine out from the last episode. It's sitting right there, and we're ready to put the new engine in. So today we're gonna jump right in and get all of the parts we need off of that engine swapped over to this engine, and hopefully get her on the hook and throw her back in the truck. But there's a lot of stuff we need to move, like engine mounts, AC compressor, maybe, nope, we get to keep the cam sensor. We get to keep quite a few things, actually. So let's get in here, get the intake off, get the banding off of the pallet, and get to work. Now, if you guys missed an earlier video, this engine was actually rebuilt in 2019. It's from a 2011, so it's refreshed, it's ready to go. I don't even want to change the water pump because obviously when they did the reman, they would have changed the water pump, so it basically has any issues that I might need to address, addressed. The valve covers don't leak. Nothing seems to leak on this one. That one was a leaky pig covered in oil. So the only gasket I think we're actually gonna need is the one that we're gonna run to O'Reilly's and get right now. And that is the oil cooler gasket because there was oil all over those. So let's hop in the car, make a quick run to O'Reilly's, and when we come back, it's time to jump right in. All right, we are here at O'Reilly's to pick up what is hopefully the only part left to put the engine back in the Escalade. So let's run in here real quick. I called earlier, got the thing ordered, got the Molly one I wanted. Let's go.
How you doing?
What's up?
Not much. We'll see you later.
Thanks, guys. All right, we should have everything. Get an Escalade engine back in tonight. All right, we're back, and we've got our gasket. We're gonna replace this one right there. I got the Molly gasket, which is the exact replacement, basically, to make sure that looks completely stock. And on the new engine here, well, we just need to get to cutting. So, bands are coming off. That way we can get this thing off the pallet. I think that's all we needed to do right there. Get all of the tags off of here. Now there's a couple things I have to do. I have to put the old engine's windage tray and pan back on because that's gonna get returned as a core. Obviously it was pretty blown up, and we were just kidding about my neighbor buying it over here because he just bought another 6.2 and doesn't want one that was this blown up. So we're gonna go ahead and return the core on this one. And while we're putting it back together, take everything else off that has to go on this one. Then we can pull the intake off this one and do our swapperoo. Back in the truck she goes. Pretty simple, but it's gonna take a little bit of time. All right, the old engine is all back together. I'm ready to drop this one down, pick this one up off the pallet. So first we have to rip the intake off of this one, and then once it's in the air, I can put everything back on it. Obviously I need access to a lot of the engine that's down in that pallet currently. And then we'll do a little engine switcheroo, get the old one on the pallet. This does end up taking like a lot of time just going back and forth, moving engines around. If you have a place to put two engines, it definitely works out. But when you don't have an extra tire laying around, you gotta do it like this. All right, all we have left here is getting the belt from the AC compressor onto the crank pulley here. And of course, I don't have the correct tools for that. I don't do it that often. So, gosh, this thing hasn't moved in a long time. It doesn't help that all the spark plugs are in it. All right, so this is what you gotta do when you don't wanna buy the tool that slides these belts on, because there's no tensioner. So you take some zip ties, you zip tie the belt in place. We'll go ahead and get our first zip tie started here. All right, we'll put one zip tie here. Get it as tight as we can, and a second zip tie on the other side of the same hole on the crank pulley. Don't catch your cam sensor in there, or you'll be in a world of hurt after that spins around and breaks right off. All right, so there is the belt. Give ourselves a little bit of room, get it all the way on the AC compressor, and now we turn. And the zip tie should force the belt into place, even though it's going to be a little bit hard. We just got to go for it. Whoa. Almost there. Did my zip tie break? Uh-oh. That's it.
You just knocked one of the small caps off.
Oh, this cap because the AC compressor?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. We have a bigger problem now.
Yeah.
Belt's trying to come off. What if I...
Reverse.
Reverse, reverse. That's about all I can do.
Yeah.
All right, cut our zip ties here. We'll leave them for now. Go on, girl.
It's be easier on an engine stand.
Oh, it'd be so much easier. Instead of lifting the whole engine up to do it. Guys, this is supposed to be a lot easier than this, but I'm doing it apparently the hardest possible way. Well, after quite a few turns forward and back, the belt finally snapped into place, so we are good to go on our AC compressor drive there, and we are ready to stick this thing in. I had to move one of the dowel pins over there, so now we're home free. Let's get this engine in the hole. Look at that, the new engine is in! This is looking really good. It didn't take long at all. Luckily those engine mounts they're saddle style and they just kind of sit right in place. Tough to see, my shadow's right in the way. There you go. You can see down in there. Now we just have to line up the transmission, get a couple of bell housing bolts started, and we're home free. We can start hooking stuff back up and get the cherry picker out of here. So I don't want to unhook it just yet. We're gonna get a couple bolts in, and then we'll be ready to rock and roll with the rest of the install, which hopefully doesn't take too long. All right guys, the engine's in and we are off to the races. As you can see, everything lined right up on those engine mounts like I was saying, and we've got the bell housing bolts in the transmission. Now I have to get the oil cooler lines in because I didn't want to try to deal with snaking all that through. So this time I had to lift the engine back up so it's all the way back up to its limit there. And then I just finished snaking those lines back in there. I'm gonna plug in the knock sensor and we're truly off to the races after that. So I can set it back down, put the motor mount bolts in, and just keep rocking and rolling. So let's hook up a few more things. Well, there we go. The valley cover bolts are back in. All of the connectors that are on the engine so far are reconnected. So we're making good progress towards getting it all wired back up. And in the next episode, we'll put the intake back on and hopefully start this thing up. I forgot to get coolant. We got everything else. We got oil, we got a filter. I need to change the filter real quick, and then we'll bolt stuff back on and give it a test fire before the front end goes on. Test fire first this time, just to make sure everything's good. So that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to head on over to shop.WatchJRGo.com for cool shirts, not like this. And please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do. And I will talk to you next time. Putting the Escalade back together has taken way less time than taking it apart did. That is for sure. We are moving right along with all the transmission bell housing bolts in and all that fun stuff. This took so much longer to get out, but it sure is going together quickly. I say that, but in the next episode, we got to get the torque converter bolts and the starter in, and those ones are going to take a little bit of time.